Started hygiene school in 79. I remember early 80s. My aunt was getting married, Terrell, and stood up for her wedding, and that was a big deal. I remember the hardest thing was is that I had school, and I had a big test coming up, chemistry test, and I had to stand up for her wedding. Did well though. I was glad. Going into 80s, Renee graduated high school. I graduated dental hygiene school in 81. One of the biggest things in March of 81 for me, personally, and why I remember it clear as a bell, again it deals with history, I was taking my Illinois State boards for dental hygiene to get my license, and we were in a secluded room off of one of the big buildings, and there was just the 30 of us in this room, plus the teachers. We were monitored, we were secluded, even for lunch, and it was an 8-hour test that we took, and I remember the girls wanted to go out after this test was over to celebrate. So we went to a bar by the school, and it was my first news that Ronald Reagan had been shot as president, and one of his press secretaries or somebody else was shot. And I remember all I wanted to do was go home, because I felt, for some reason, the history of it, that same feeling when John F. Kennedy was shot, and I just wanted to be home. So I left and went home and followed the progress, and thank God he was okay, but the secretary guy was not. And that was a big day. Early part of the 80s, I just getting settled into a career, working, started to travel, started to go places. Went to Hawaii, early 80s, beautiful country. It's almost like a fantasy world. Would love to go back. Learned a lot about the Hawaiian culture and history, because I like history. Another big vacation I took was a Caribbean cruise, and enjoyed that immensely. Had a ball. Started to date. Went out with a few guys. You always have to kiss the toads before you find your prince, and it was fun. I enjoyed it. Kept working at my career, and mid 80s, I'd have to say my brother getting married was a big thing. Stood up to his wedding. Just dating. That's what we did. And vacations. Took a couple of vacations to see my Aunt Terrell too during that time. More independence, and that was good. Late 80s, I have to say, is when I met Tom, my husband. Didn't know he would be my husband, but I met him. We were dating. Ronald Reagan was still president. I remember that. I guess you get kind of blurry-eyed when you're going out. But by 88, we were engaged, planning for the future. Got married in 89, late 89, and I don't remember much. I remember, as far as history goes, I remember that when we got back from our honeymoon, or around the time of our honeymoon, which was November of 89, the Berlin Wall was knocked down, and that was a big thing between the German East and West and communism. And I guess I remember Gorbachev and things like that, but I don't remember exactly what went on, just names, places. And we got into the 90s. Mostly I remember about the early 90s is traveling, doing a lot of trips. Tom and I took a lot of trips. We, of course we went to Disneyland and the Keys for our honeymoon. We went to Yellowstone. We went to South Dakota, Mount Rushmore. one of my favorite vacations, which was unplanned, middle of decision. We were headed out to Montana and went all the way to Seattle and down the coast from Seattle down to California. And I think that's still my favorite. Scenery, everything. 91, we did get pregnant. But we lost the baby. During the war of Iraq. And don't know if that had anything to do with it, the stress. But it was a major thing for us. And took some time to recover. Mainly 92 was trying to get pregnant. And then we were blessed with Morgan in 93. And we were so happy. And she's been the best blessing. Most of that is a blur, 93, 94. Just raising Morgan. 95, more trips. We always went on trips. Colorado. Morgan with the aspen trees and learning that her dog was named Aspen from Colorado. And went to the Tetons and the Painted Desert, places in Utah, Arizona, Four Corners. I love going there. I love going to visit the Indian jewelry places. There's such culture and history there that we don't know about and wish we knew more. And I do love going there. Let's see. Into 96, well, we have President Bill Clinton as president. Economy became better. I remember Tom changed jobs a lot through the 90s, which has always been a worry, health insurance and things. But mainly about the 90s, I'd have to say it's been a year of sadness, yet happiness. And the biggest happiness is yet to come with Morgan. And having her grow, start school, enjoying school. And I volunteer with the kids, and it's amazing to me to have them learn and really enjoy you as a person at this age. And what I have to say about the future is mainly, I hope that the young children who do watch this learn that history is a lot and you can learn from it. And that I think the major people in this world are the little people, the people who strive to work hard, who are honest, trustworthy, who do a good job and are proud of it. And those are the people who have made our country, our world, and I hope they remember that. And yes, there's always bad in the world, but you can overcome it with truth and honesty, prayer. And I guess that's my legacy that I would like to leave, is believe in yourself and you'll get there somehow. It might not be right away. And I would say those are the people that I admire the most, and who built our country and this world. And just remember that.